It is a crazy market right now. Bitcoin has fallen down to $101,000. We're basically just holding on, getting very, very close to that critical $100,000 price level. Bitcoin's dominance has been shooting up. Look at this Bitcoin dominance chart, ladies and gents. Altcoins have been getting destroyed. Ethereum nearly lost a low, and it's coming right back down to set those lows potentially very, very soon as well. So we're going to be covering that. Look at Trump right here, which died. Look at this right here on the daily. There's nothing left. It's basically just going right back down to more or less all-time lows. If we look at it on the hourly, we can get a better view of how Trump had this really nice established zone of support. But unfortunately, that didn't end up helping Trump too much, and it's now in free-fall territory. So an insane point in this market right now. I don't know why my screen's so lit up right now, but an insane point in this market right now. Really something that, is something that we're going to be diving quite deep into in this video. So if you are excited for it, do me a favor and smash up those likes as you are coming in to this YouTube video. And if you want to be able to trade Trump, by the way, like people that are going short on this shit right now are printing cash. All of these coins are dying, and this is actually a really, really good opportunity for people that have already been going short in the market. Bybit, when you start signing up, is going to give you free cash to trade with. All you've got to do is deposit and start trading using this link here, and they're going to give you free money to trade with. Blowfin does the same thing with even more aggressive bonuses. So check them out if you're not from a restricted region, if you are allowed to use them. Bybit also has the Bybit debit card. You can spend it anywhere in the world if you're a VIP member on Bybit. So really, really cool stuff. Check it all out if you are interested here. But let's dive into the Bitcoin stuff. And actually, first, before we do all of that, let's look at the S&P 500, okay? Because, you know, it's looking like a crypto phenomenon right now, but it's not, okay? This is actually happening in the stock market as well. The S&P 500 has come down by a little bit. Obviously, some of you guys may have heard of DeepSeek, which kind of tanked a lot of stocks. But really, the damage not looking too bad right now overall. And the S&P 500 is basically more or less still at all-time highs, which, if you remove your completely feminine panicking energy out of this shit, then actually Bitcoin is in the exact same situation. It's still just literally floating at its all-time highs, looking identical to the S&P 500. Yet in crypto, we're not feeling that way, right? In crypto, people are actually feeling very, very different right now. And I think that's what makes this really, really interesting as an interesting point in this market right here, ladies and gents, because you've got people just completely blowing out of proportion how bad this market actually is right now, and I think that tells us a lot about, how much higher we could be going, right? I mean, I've been seeing so many people calling for market tops where, with such high levels of conviction, even friends that I know, people who, I think are very good traders, who are also going to make mistakes, keep in mind, everybody makes mistakes, telling me that the market is topped, and that it's going to be coming back down. And we're going to be diving into it, but, you already kind of know the deal, especially if you're subscribed. I've been a giga bull, ladies and gents, since we were down at 15K, a little bit less at 15K, but I took a really, really famous long position that you guys know about, made well over like 3,000% profit, something fucking insane from that trade. Going long, putting my money where my mouth is during this entire trend. And I'm still saying the same thing right now, because at every step, I basically just look at what's in front of me and I'm like, okay, well, this lines up with a bull market, when we're at basically all-time high price levels and, things are looking really good and the market hasn't actually fully taken off yet. It's still consolidating, yet everybody is done and hates the market. I mean, obviously, right? Like, that's what happens every single time before the market gets a really big pump. So very, very excited to be seeing all of this stuff here. And let's continue breaking it down. And just starting off with the facts, because we want to keep ourselves grounded where everybody else kind of loses their minds. We've got this really, really nice support level right here at $100,000, $99,000. And I definitely think that Bitcoin could be looking to grab some support off this level, and then kind of continue on higher. Now, we have tested it quite a few times. We've also tested the high quite a few times. So, there's a lot of talk about, the fact that we tested this high and we can't break it. Maybe we're coming back down. Obviously, that's looking a little bit more likely now because we've tested this level quite a lot, this $99,000 price level. It's been, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests of this level. And we've tested the upside even more, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, depending on how generous you want to count. And so we've definitely tested the upside a little bit more than the downside, and now we're coming back down to test the downside here. So this is going to be the real test, is if this level holds. If this level does hold, then, we're getting right back up to target that resistance level, and hopefully we can pull something off with that. Maybe it happens on Monday, right, when the next trading week starts. So that would actually be really nice. However, if we end up losing this level of support, then we're probably coming right back down to $90,000. This is not a big drop at at all. You know, it's really just, you know, even from current prices, it's really not that bad. It's not even a full, you know, 10% drop, you know, to get down into the zone of support. About 92, 91 is where it starts. So, you know, to kind of put these things in perspective, we're really not looking at anything too catastrophic here, but it would be bad for the altcoin market, right? A lot of people are still positioned in altcoins. And by the way, you know, I saw an interesting tweet today of, you know, we've got multi-cycle, you know, people who've been in this market for many, many cycles, sitting $10 million plus because of all the profits that they've made, asking themselves why an 18-year-old with $900 wouldn't be buying Bitcoin. And I found it a really interesting question, right? Because the thought process behind that is like, of course you're in Bitcoin, you're fucking rich. But if you don't have money, if you don't have, you know, $10 million or something, then why would you buy Bitcoin, right? That's kind of what that tweet was saying. And I think it's a really interesting question because I think it's coming from the wrong perspective, right? It's a perspective of, you know, you don't buy Bitcoin because you think that you want to make money. But my perspective on this, and I've been saying this for a very, very long time to those of you that are subscribed on this YouTube channel, and it's in line with the Bitcoin dominance chart, is that it doesn't really matter whether you think you can make money on Bitcoin. It's more about protecting your money, right? Like if you put $900 in Bitcoin a year ago, you would have made money. But if you put $900 in pretty much any other crypto in that exact same time frame, you probably would have lost money, okay? And the reason for that is because you weren't going to be buying, if you're not buying Bitcoin, you're not buying Ethereum, right? If you're not buying Ethereum, you're not buying Solana type shit, you're probably going into the meme coin market, right? You're probably going into the trenches. You're probably buying stuff that's going to turn your $900 into $9 within a day or two, right? Like that's more likely what's happening, and that's actually what happened to most market participants, and that's why this is such a bearish bull market right now, right? Just such a huge like juxtaposition between the two ideas. I mean, we're in a bull market. It's, you know, it looks like you know, it's been a raging bull market. It's probably going to be a raging bull market again, but people are so bearish, and that's because they're not positioned correctly. So my answer to stuff like this, yeah, is that it's not about like being bitter about the fact that you don't have 10 mil, right? That's not productive. It's about understanding that if you want to take on more risk to make money, but you end up just losing everything you put in anyway, then you are worse off than the other 18-year-old with $900 who did buy Bitcoin and who watched every single other coin die. Look at this Bitcoin dominance chart. I mean, we're basically about to set another high potentially here. And just even this rise up from the, you know, I was telling you guys we're going to bounce up from this level. Just this rise up, this entire 9% gain here. Well, it's actually from 54 to 59, so 5% gain here. Absolutely massive, you know, coming as a result of these coins dying here. You know, if you wanted to buy these coins, right, because you think they're going to make you more money, then guess what? Being in Bitcoin actually allows you to protect your capital so that when these coins die, you can move into them. And that's what I think is really interesting. So we're going to be talking about that as we go on in this video. It's going to be a big one, so strap yourself in. Make sure you've smashed up those likes if you haven't done so already. And of course, check out the channel sponsors if you want to get a ton of free cash to start trading with in these markets. It's the best time right now in these markets to be well positioned with a lot of cash behind you to throw it into the market. A lot of people lose money before this point in time comes, but some people have got huge bonuses using these links in the description, and some people, even better, have not even lost their money and they're very well positioned to take advantage of the market. So that's really, really cool. But check them out. Like I said, if you're interested, all you've got to do is start trading and then deposit and then start trading to get your bonuses. And of course, only if you're not from a restricted region here. But moving back to the markets here, specifically Bitcoin's dominance, you know, we can see it kind of topped out over here, you know, a couple of days ago. I'm sorry, what am I talking about? This was like an entire month ago, you know, and again, you know, just like a day or two ago, it came up here, and now we've kind of, we're attacking this level again. We're clearly, I mean, look, we tested the downside once, we're testing the upside like 3 times now, 2 times. So, you know, like we're clearly looking like we're going to be pushing this thing higher. Every single altcoin chart, you know, if you compare it to Bitcoin, looks abysmal right now. I remember seeing, you know, Ethereum getting that nice little pump, you know, just slightly out of this support range, but it really didn't last, and Ethereum's right back down to the same price level again. And this definitely is an indication to me, you know, that we're going to be heading down lower to our next areas of support, especially now. Like before, I wasn't so sure about it, right? Like I wasn't actually like super confident in my kind of thesis that Ethereum might be dropping below this 0.3 BTC level, but I think, you know, seeing how people reacted to that Ethereum pump, that was number one. That, you know, people were way too happy, way too bullish about it. That's number one. And then number two, just seeing how weak Ethereum's chart actually is down here. You know, it's really showing me that this thing, you know, is not looking good. And you know, as far as support goes, which is kind of the only thing that we can really base our analysis off at this point, you know, the only other level below this box that really, you know, the market interacted with, look at this, you know, you're getting reversals here, you're getting a little bit of of a breakout. You're getting some consolidation, some big reversals coming off. It's this level, right? It's this level at about 0.25 BTC. So, that's kind of the next stop for Ethereum in my books. It's basically a full market reset as well. And what I'm really going to be looking for, I'm talking to you guys really right now. I mean, I can't stress this enough. This is what you get on this YouTube channel. I'm talking to you like you are my friend sitting in front of me right now, my friend of 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years that I can talk completely freely in front of, that I have no worries that you're going to like misinterpret what I'm saying. Those of you that will can fuck right off this channel. I'm talking to you like that when I say that I'm looking, if Ethereum comes back down to this kind of level against Bitcoin, or even now, it doesn't matter, any level, what I'm looking for is for people to absolutely hate this market, okay? I want people to be furious. I want people to be angry and pissed off and depressed. Any negative, like when I see that, when I see market participants feeling that while the chart is really low, that's when I click buy, yeah? That's when I'm clicking buy. And that's what I do in these markets. That's what I've been doing in these markets, especially with Ethereum. I've traded Ethereum in particular. I'm very, very confident trading, just like Bitcoin. Because Ethereum, those of you who've been watching me for a while, you're going to remember back in 2017 when I started trading 8 years ago. Oh my God, it's going to be 8 years in a month. In 1 month, it'll be 8 years since I entered this market. The first trade I took, it was Bitcoin, but the first actual trade I took was Ethereum, okay? And I bought Ethereum like at the top and I sold it at the bottom. So I had a bit of a start with this chart. I feel like I understand it pretty well. But it's not just an Ethereum thing. This is really, it applies to stocks, it applies to crypto, it applies to oil, it applies to anything that you can think of. When people hate the market, yeah, when people hate it and they're talking about how it's never going to recover, and they're pivoting to something else, at that bottom, you're going to see the market go sideways for a little bit potentially, and that's where a lot of that smart money is picking it up. So we haven't seen this happen yet, but we've seen it start, right? We've seen the start, of those cracks, starting to form here, and to me, that's a really strong indication that this thing could be going turbo up, if it does end up kind of coming down to a support level that it really likes, when people are really, really upset. We're gonna see that those Ethereum tokens that want to be sold are going to get sold into people who are a hell of a lot more patient, and guess what? Patient people don't sell, and so the only thing you're going to have left is some residual buying demand. It's going to be very easy to push Ethereum back up. That's how these markets recover, in terms of the mechanics and the psychology behind them. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if that was interesting information for you, because that's exactly what we aim to bring here on this YouTube channel right here. But really, really a very, very interesting time because of all of that in this market here. Take a look at Solana, also down quite bad right now. Look at this. Yeah, it was all the way up at $300. My God, and now sitting at 220. I mean, look, it's still got support levels. Solana moves in its own way. I'm not worried about Solana. Some people are. I don't really get it. I'm not worried about Solana. I think that it's got a lot of support levels below it, and Solana's kind of just one of those things where it's at one of those support levels, it's going to decide that it doesn't want to keep on dropping anymore, and that's when I expect it to probably kind of continue going a little bit higher there. So that's what I'm seeing there. If we look at the altcoins, I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, the altcoins are just getting destroyed right now. So anybody that's going short in these markets, is going to be doing very, very well. That's why these offers are really compelling, because it's just free money to throw it into the market anyway. Even if you don't really like your trading idea, it doesn't really matter what you do with free money at the end of the day, right? You can either make money and then withdraw the profits, or you can lose it and then it's Bybit's problem. So I don't care either way, and neither should you. So check it out definitely if you are allowed to, because that stuff is going short anywhere is paying really well. I mean, these don't look like big moves, right? But just from this high to current price is a 20% move. You got to keep in mind, I mean, the way coins drop, it's brutal, right? Like, this might not look like a big move, but that's also 20%. And this happened within a day and a half. I mean, a day and a half to make that much money is insane, right? Slap a little bit of, if it were me back in the day, I would have been doing even 10x on this potentially. That would be way too high. But even 5x, that's going to double my money if I were to take that kind of trade. So, there's definitely, really, really nice opportunities, I think, floating around in the market right now. These coins that I think look interesting for shorts, they could be approaching reversal zones. So, I think that's going to be something important to watch out for. Pepe, for example, has just reached a reversal zone right here. So it's going to be interesting to see what it kind of does with that. But really, I think it's Bitcoin's show, right? I think it's Bitcoin. I think if Bitcoin can kind of stay above $100,000, then it's going to have another kind of nice rally where it's going to go up by at least another 5-6, back up to that resistance level. And we've got an overall bullish market, right? The very first thing I did was I grounded you by showing you, the S&P 500 chart versus the Bitcoin chart, and how they're both basically identical. But on one side, the S&P looks really, really good, and on the other side, people think crypto looks horrible, and that to me is just emotion. That's all it is. It's just people being overly emotional where they shouldn't. And I think that if you can recognize that, then you can position yourself for it. And actually, it's really not that bad at all, right? If we take a look at Doge, for example, which I was actually very, very bullish on, it has dropped by a fair bit here. So, that's whatever. Obviously, I think it's going to recover. I think the Department of Government Efficiency has been doing great work in the U.S. government. So I don't know. Maybe I don't think it's going away. Put it that way. I don't think it's going away. And I think that if we get a bullish environment, then everything is going to be quite majorly up. So these drawbacks right here, especially if these coins are losing against Bitcoin, which Doge is as well. These pullbacks because of that reason to me are looking really, really interesting, because that's where these coins are actually going to be much nicer to kind of start picking them up and buying them. Especially it's like I said, it's when everybody is so negative about it. That's what you really got to look for. That's the phase that we're in right now. We're looking to see. What have I done here? We're looking to see when people become really, really upset and bearish in this market, when the prices are also at support levels. That's kind of, if we really detach ourselves from everything that we're seeing, including our own feelings, that's really what we're looking for. And then assuming of course that you think the market is going to recover eventually. If you don't think it's going to recover, and if you're Peter Schiff and you think we're going down to 10K, then then you're not really in this conversation. But if you think that it's obvious that the market will eventually recover, then we've kind of seen everything we need to see to tell us that we're nearly there. Like, we're getting there. I'm hearing a lot of talk about capitulation, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but Bitcoin dropping down to 90 would be capitulation in the altcoin market at least. And I think that would definitely start to really, really ruffle some people's feathers there. So we're going to be watching to see how that goes. Now, just zooming out a little bit on Bitcoin, I do want to talk to you about what happens if we lose 90K. Obviously, there's really nothing on this chart that's ever been printed. I mean, that was $20,000. That was 60 or 70 more like. And this is 90, right? So, if we lose the $90,000 level of support, we're probably going to drop by about 20K. This is my best case scenario, man. I really, really want to see Bitcoin do this. If Bitcoin doesn't, it's fine, right? But if Bitcoin does, take a look at this, right? From the all-time high down to 70K, that's a 33% move. Down to 67K, that's a 38% move. That's kind of the maximum drawback that Bitcoin ever has inside of a bull market. And so far, we haven't had any significant pullbacks at all. I guess the biggest one was probably this one, but it took a really long time, right? I mean, it's not really like, a drop like this, which is more typical during this bear market. And we just haven't been getting, big pullbacks. And I think that if we can, first of all, this is going to be an amazing, imagine the prices on altcoins if that happened, right? A lot of companies would go bankrupt, to be honest. We might have a really, really bad environment in the market, but this is capitalism. This is crypto. Crypto's very pure capitalism. You FAFO, you fuck around, you find out type shit. That's how these markets work. So, I'm not going to be upset about that. That's literally just how it goes. You can, I do my best to make sure that you guys don't run into those kind of issues, but beyond you guys on my YouTube channel, what can I do? I can't help the whole world. And so it's all about me kind of making sure that you guys are very, very acutely aware of reality and what reality could look like. And that's why I kind of talk about ideas like 70 and 67, because this shit is going to be the hardest to digest up here, and it's going to be the easiest to digest when we're down here. And I'm saying I want you prepped for it when we're up here. It might not happen, yeah? If it doesn't happen, then good for you. But if it does happen, then good for you, motherfucker, because you were prepared for it as well. So, that's what we're going for. And I think that, opportunities down here would be amazing in the altcoin market. Obviously, it would be amazing for Bitcoin. We would really have a lot of chances for mainstream media to just kind of fire away with all of the really negative things that they want to say about crypto, but that they haven't had a chance to say yet because crypto has been pumping, right? So I think that's actually, a really big deal that no one's really paying attention to. Is just the fact that, there are a lot of people that really want to be talking shit about crypto right now, but they've been very quiet. We're going to give them a chance to empty their clips, if Bitcoin does that, and then we can send it again. And basically we get to have this rally again, which is another, 40%, and then we're probably going to pull off something else very impressive above 100. So look, I'm kind of I'm getting into my own wet dream territory. I don't actually think this is going to happen. It would be nice, but I don't think it's going to happen. And if it doesn't, it's fine too, because that means we're not dropping below 90. So, what the hell? Like, that's pretty good too, right? Like, I don't think that we're losing in any case here. And if that is the case, then yeah, I think, we find support at 90, we probably come back up. But either way, 130K is basically hardwired at this point. It's hard coded at this point. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see how that's not going to happen. I think that we're going to be surpassing levels like that as well. I think it's going to be looking pretty sweet. I think it's going to drag Bitcoin's dominance up with it, which means that other people holding altcoins, they might not necessarily lose money against the dollar, but I certainly think that most people and most coins are going to lose money against Bitcoin. Eventually that's going to change, and all of these coins that were previously really big, especially coins like Trump that have a really strong narrative, I don't think they're going to die, and I don't think this is a chart that's just going to fucking become irrelevant forever. I mean, it certainly looks like it. It looks like the most disgusting pump and dump ever. It looks fucking horrible. It looks horrible, right? But I don't think it's going to die, and I think that what that means is that if Bitcoin's dominance keeps, kind of sending these coins lower, if Bitcoin's rallies keeps kind of sucking liquidity out of these coins, which is what's happening, by the way, if that keeps on happening and these coins keep on going down, I just think they're going to reach really, really attractive buy levels. And at that point, ladies and gents, I mean, if you expect these coins to recover because they have narratives that, make sense, that they're not just going to evaporate and die, then actually you're seeing really, 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 really low price levels on coins that you might already be very interested in. So honestly, an incredible point in the market. This is I don't know if you guys can tell, but my energy is different in this video. It's not super often anymore that I come on a video and I have so much excitement about where this market is. It doesn't happen that often anymore because the markets are so sideways so often, right? But now it's coming and I'm prepared for it. I feel hopefully you guys are prepared for it. That's the best you can ask for. Obviously, the best way to be prepared for it is to know where you're going to be trading these markets. So obviously, just make sure you're choosing platforms that are compliant with your laws, but really, really cool stuff linked down here as well. Supports the channel as well. But there you go, ladies and gents. Really hope you have enjoyed this YouTube video. You know what to do. Smash up those likes. Double check that you're subscribed. Tick the bell, do all that good stuff. By the way, those of you that are interested in our one-to-one program, it has had amazing results. You can reach out to me with this direct contact link right here, and I can give you information for it. It's very expensive. It's very serious. Don't waste your time. Don't waste mine. But if you think that this is going to be an interesting offer for you, then definitely check it out. It's linked down there. You can just reach out to me directly and I can give you more information. All right, ladies and gents, hope you've enjoyed this one. You know what to do, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.